let's talk about the insanity that was yesterday and the release of the Epstein files. Now, people will go, what are you talking about this? Because the reason we're talking about this is because, number one, it's a major cultural thing. And number two, it has direct ties to entertainment, which is what we talk about on a day-to-day basis, or so has been said. I think everybody wants this list released because there's a lot of really, really messed up things on that list, messed up people who did some really, really messed up things to a lot of really, really young, innocent people, kids. So we got word that this was going to roll out, and rolled out at the very tail end of our show yesterday. And we were trying to figure out kind of what to make of it. And now that it's been 24 hours or so, we know that it did not exactly look very good, as the first pictures that we saw was a bunch of influencers with this book, this notebook that had Epstein files. It was like part 1 or whatever. And they're all like smiling, holding up this book. And Josiah, says this is a horrible look. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein here with over 200 plus victims and powerful elites. And we have influencers posing for photo ops. And this is the general thought that I think I saw most across the board was release everything unredacted to the public now. First and foremost, want to get y'all's thoughts on just this initial rollout here. Shags, what were your thoughts when you were seeing this?
It's just a joke, like Josiah said. I mean, this is a really, really important thing that people have been expecting. And, Trump promised, the administration promised this was going to be released. And now it's like, and, Libs of TikTok is great. They're funny, but why does she have a copy of it? Just release it. Let's look at it. Let's see what it is. Like there's a lot that needs to be done with the Epstein files. And this was just such a bad look for it. It was a big, big L. So
Wicked.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like that picture confused me. First off, I don't know who any of those influencers are, but using this as a chance for a photo op and not even taking it, like, if you're going to do that, make it like a serious picture or something, not like smiling, like, look what I got. Awful look.
Yeah. Blabs, what were you thinking when you saw that roll out yesterday?
Oh, I agree 100% with Josiah. I think we even had commented on that one. I said this is a terrible look, and it really is. It's like, hang on, a whole bunch of influencers have these binders that the public has no idea what's inside these binders. It could literally just be like the Do Re Mi song inside the binders, but we would no idea. So you're just waving it around. It's like, what do you think the public's going to react? Like, there's no win situation here. And then, everyone just covering it up, saying, oh, we had no idea. You're full of shit. Instagram influencers. Ugh.
One of the people who got the binder was Savannah Hernandez. And Savannah Hernandez says that they are, I think I've seen this girl once or twice, says political commentary, proud American, contributor to TPUSA, which is that Turning Point USA?
Turning Point, yeah.
Okay. Says, I also have the Epstein files binder, but I want to correct the record. The Trump admin was originally set to announce these documents and make them available to the public in a press conference this afternoon. Bondi has stated that some of the information is already public and that the real, quote, smoking gun documents are being withheld by the FBI. This binder and this morning's meeting is part of the Trump's admin's push to bring independent journalists and media to speak directly to the highest members of the administration in an effort to be the most transparent admin in history. And she has a quick 2-minute video here kind of explaining this a little bit more. Let's go see what she had to say here.
Hey guys, this is Savannah Hernandez in front of the White House with, yes.
And I have sped it up just a little bit.
One of those Epstein file binders. Now, I want to clear something up immediately and state that nobody from the Trump admin gave us these binders and said, you guys are going to be the ones responsible for disseminating this information. They actually told us that there's going to be a press conference at any moment now, most likely this afternoon, in which all of the information in this binder is made available to the American public. Now, Pam this morning stated to us that some of the information in here is already public, and she doesn't really feel that any of this information is a smoking gun. The big story here is Pam writing a letter to Kash Patel asking him to investigate why the FBI has stopped the release of other portions of the Epstein files. So that is what is currently going on. And I wanted to come out as a journalist as well and state that, again, we are not responsible for deciding what does or does not come out All of the information in this binder will be made public. Pam Bondi herself stated that she wants all of the Epstein files to be made public to the American people, not just to influencers or independent journalists, but that in itself has been a process. Now, one of the reasons why I have this is because the Trump admin right now is making a big push for not only transparency, but being welcoming to independent journalists who might have been looked down on, ignored, or even censored over the last 4 years. This administration is making a big push right now to allow American people to come into the Oval Office, to come into the White House and directly talk to the president, the vice president, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, RFK Jr. about what they are going to be doing for the American people. So it's really interesting to see how this administration is handling the media and allowing independent people, American citizens, to come into the Oval Office and talk directly to highest members of the administration. So I wanted to give you guys my update on this. There will be a press conference. All of this will be made public.
Was there a press conference? Because I didn't know if there was.
I didn't see one.
No. Well, apparently they did release everything. And one of the guys who got it was a guy named DC Drano, and he scrolled through the entire thing in a 15-minute live stream. And it comes off kind of blurry. I guess it's from the Wi-Fi and such, but you can kind of see as he's scrolling through here. It looks like there's flight logs. And,
like this is the best they could do. Like a vertical video and like just skimming through shit and no public from the White House itself.
I think what happened was from what I understand, he was in the airport and he was just live streaming this, and the signal wasn't very good, and it looked good on his end, but it was coming through blurry. So he was just gonna kind of go through.
You know, I'm saying that's fine. Whatever. DC Drano, I kind of find him to be a bit of a sellout, but like. Why didn't the White House just post all this stuff? Why is an influencer posting this shit?
Right. And I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe we missed that. But this is where I think is really messed up, is when you scroll after scroll here, you see all these names blocked out, this redacted nonsense. Like,
yeah.
That's not transparency. And I don't know what the logic behind that is. From what I understand, there's something about protecting the victims here, and if that's the case, I get that, but if at this point, don't you think we should have a name of everybody who is on that flight log and everything? I mean, it's been what, 12 24 hours or so. Surely somebody's gone through and really narked through that thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's like, for the victims, that makes sense, or maybe like confidential, like I don't know, phone numbers, addresses, something like that. But maybe they should say what it is so that we're not just going to jump to conclusions and think that it's some big names being covered up.
Yeah, that's fair.
She did mention too that the FBI is responsible for not really rolling this out and like withholding some of the information. Savannah said that. And what I heard is it is the FBI that's sort of like pulling the reins back here, and that I'm not even surprised by, this is such a complicated thing. If I knew that this was going to be something that was either driven out in phases or widely like,
we'll
never know.
We'll never know what happened to Shags. Well, one of the other things as Shags' internet figures out what's going on is also what exactly happened as far as relaying the information out there. And we saw the House Judiciary Committee do probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen ever. When there he is, there's Shags. Just walking off. He just throws his head, but just walks off. I love it. But when the House Judiciary GOP posted a link to a Rickroll instead of the Epstein file links.
Oh, that was
inappropriate as hell.
When I first saw that, I'm like, wait, is it the official account? And I had looked at it, I was like, wow.
The post, which featured #breaking Epstein files released alongside the misleading link, was quickly flagged by community notes. But that's unheard of.
Embarrassing.
That you can be so tone deaf to that.
Yeah.
Imagine if the left had done something like that. Like, everyone would be up in arms, really. So I think everyone should just react the same way. It's insane.
I don't. Yeah, Lance is right. This was foul. Joking about
Yeah.
docs of child rapists. Right? That's something you just don't mess with here. Mm-mm. Now, the response to this has been obviously they've been flamed, rightfully so. And Kirsha was talking about the release of this yesterday. This is only release files to certain media people. Said media people take a bunch of media people take a bunch of tasteless photos, smiling and laughing. Now, to be clear, from what I understand about this, the media that was there was not there to take pictures of them, right? They just have to be more or less caught in the crossfire, if you will, of photos.
But some of them were literally posing and going, "Look, the binder."
Yeah, right. I understand that. I think you should not be smiling when you're holding that folder.
No.
At all. But you don't know what was going through their head, and that's where like you have one frame of time that really makes the entire thing look bad. So
they say like a photo says 1,000 words. So.
And how do you manage to burn goodwill from releasing the Epstein docs? It's actually confounding how much the right hates winning. And then George came in with just an absolute wonderful piece of art here. Says, "Man, we know you've been through a lot. Would you be willing to look through this security tape? It may help us identify the individuals responsible for assaulting your daughter." And then, of course, he gets rickrolled, and they get rickrolled, and the ladies over there, and of course, they represent that thing yesterday. So,
It's smart.
What a mess! What an absolute mess that was yesterday. And I just as a father of 2 daughters, that you don't joke about that. That ain't something you joke about. That was probably like, it's okay to call out things that even if they're quote unquote on your side, when something is bullshit, and that was bullshit yesterday in every way, shape, and form. So
Do you think they're gonna like talk about it and it was like say they were like hacked or
no, because that tweet has been deleted.
Okay, so they're just not even gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. But what a bonehead move. Wasp says Razorfist has a video on the Epstein files, and that was released earlier today, and he does a better job than I could explaining it. Allegedly, the FBI was intentionally hiding documents. It's a mess. Yeah, sounds like an entire mess from top to bottom. Dylan says, not just the FBI, a rogue field office in New York. Hurt says, they use the victims' abusers as content for influencers. Yeah, that's screwy.
Hey, we're glad you found the channel. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. We love to see you guys more often.